Hello, welcome to Big Day Talk, and today we're at Groom.
Hi chaps, how are we doing? So obviously we know you guys because many of our weddings have your suits, and they're always amazing. We've done style shoots with you guys, and they're always amazing. So we just wanted to get to know you a little bit more. So tell us how it all started.
Well, it all started in 1994 in Warrington. We opened our first shop.
Yeah.
And it was just a retail shop, so we would sell suits mostly, but we also casual wear, jeans, sweaters, shoes, all that sort of stuff. And 1996, we just got into the suit hire, which was kind of by mistake, really.
Yeah.
One of our reps that we bought shirts from just said, would you like to start dealing with this company that hires suits to retailers that then pass the suits on to the end user?
Okay.
So we said we'll give it a try, and we had a little corner in the shop with 5 jackets and about 10 waistcoats and a couple of pairs of trousers.
Yeah.
And it just grew and grew from there.
So you opened a store in Liverpool then?
Yes, in 1999, we
Yeah.
opened our Liverpool store in the wedding house.
Okay.
Which, the owner of Groom owns the wedding house as well.
Right.
So where's the wedding house in Liverpool? Whereabouts?
Just off Upper Parliament Street,
Right,
not far
okay.
from the Anglican Cathedral.
Right,
Ah,
okay.
okay.
So the idea with the wedding house was it was multiple businesses within the wedding house all doing their own thing.
Like
so
a one-stop shop.
Kind of,
thing.
yeah. So we would do suits. There was a bridal company in there.
Right.
Photographer, videographer.
Right. We
so
missed that opportunity.
Everything under one roof, yeah. So yeah, it all worked really well. We all bounced off each other. So if somebody would come in for a wedding dress, they'd come in and look at the suits, and
Yeah.
most of the time, tried to get the dress from there. We did the suits.
Oh, that's good.
So it worked really well, yeah.
Yeah.
And then it was about 2004. Yeah, 2004. We opened the shop in Chester.
Yeah.
We've been there for quite a few years, and then 2019 we were just a little bit down the road. 2019 we decided to move locations into this shop in Chester.
Yeah.
What's the difference between what's it been like?
Size is
Okay.
a lot bigger than it was down
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
But the windows we've got here, we're on the corner.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you know the passing trade we get now is unbelievable.
Yeah.
A lot of people walking
Worth
in off the
the move
street.
then.
100%. Yeah. Never looked back. It was just the timing of it. 2019 April.
Yeah.
We didn't have a full year, and then COVID hit. So
Hit everybody though, didn't it? So
yeah. But yeah, not looked back since. It's just been a fantastic move. So.
yeah.
Well, we've always had like great feedback from all the couples that we've worked with. You know, whenever we're shooting on a wedding day kind of thing, we could see the name Groom on the suit bag,
Yeah.
and they've only got nice things to say. You know,
Yeah.
nobody ever comes
Good.
back with a bad story, which is good. And you, in our opinion, to be fair, you are one of the best in the business because it's the customer service. I mean, I bought a suit from here, and it's nice to be able to come in and know the fact you're going to get looked after.
That's it,
Yeah.
isn't it? You
Yeah.
walk in, everyone's, hello, how are you?
Yeah,
Yeah.
because it can be quite intimidating, can't it? Especially for like suit stuff. You've got
It's not something you do all the time, is it?
No.
So
No.
you only do it a couple of times in your life, wedding, you know,
Yeah.
races or whatever. You don't do it that often.
No,
So-
you don't. And you got a picture in your mind of like it'd just be some old man with a tape measure, you know, suit you,
It's
sir.
not like that anymore. It's not like that anymore.
It is now, mate.
Well,
But no,
not
this
so
is,
much of the old.
yeah, this is much more kind of like it's younger, modern, isn't it? And that's where weddings take place, don't they? Most of it's between like the age of 25 and 35.
Yeah, yeah.
So that's the kind of customer service we're all
Well,
expecting.
each shop has a range of, you know, people, young, old, and everything.
Yeah.
So there's experience in every shop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there's different ideas in every shop. So if you say, what
Yeah.
do you think? Or, you know, you've got different opinions on,
Yeah.
on what you can wear.
But you've got that vibe that suits that age range.
Yeah.
That's kind of what I'm
It
getting
is.
at. It's not that kind of stuffy old man shop
No.
that you kind of go into.
No,
where
definitely not.
Yeah. It feels like quite young and
Modern and
when-
fresh, isn't it?
Yeah.
When you're on the start of the journey for getting the suit that you need, how's best to go about that?
Well, it's a difficult journey, isn't it, really? Because you never know what you want. So
Yeah.
we would always recommend bringing your partner because you know exactly what you want for your wedding.
Yeah.
And even if you've got conflicting ideas, you you know what you want as a group, really, for the look and what you want out of it. Usually, sometimes they say, "Oh, can we bring groomsmen, dads, brothers, family, friends,
Yeah.
whatever." We would steer away from that because otherwise you've got if you've got a big party, you've got six,
Too many
7 opinions.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, you've got to remember who's getting married,
Yeah.
and it's you two.
Right.
So we would always say just you two for the start, and then later on we'll do all the fittings, we'll do all the grooms and all the dads, all the brothers. So don't worry about that. You will get your day out in the end, and you can
Yeah.
go to the pub and whatever and do whatever you want. But initially we need to know what you're having
Right.
and get started on that.
Yeah.
That's good advice, that, because the first thing you think of is, go get a suit. That's a lad's job.
Yeah.
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 We'll take care of that. Don't worry, love. I've got this.
The problem is, it
Yeah, but
doesn't
do
happen.
they?
Yeah.
I wouldn't trust you.
Cheers.
No, I really wouldn't.
It's
I
just a
wouldn't
group
I
trust
wouldn't
him.
trust me. No,
To be honest, I didn't trust you when you had to come for a suit anyway.
no, that's true.
I
That's
came
true.
with you.
You came with me. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, certain brides are almost nervous to come because they're like, do they want me there, and do they want my opinion on it?
Yeah.
And I'd
Yeah.
always say definitely have that opinion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So even if they go against that opinion and they go, actually I do want this suit, at least you've got an opinion on the suit, and you know, actually this is the one I want.
Yeah.
Do you have many grooms that have obviously came in with their partner and then they've came back in with the lads and they've changed their mind?
We've had the opposite, where the groom's come in without his partner and
Right.
chosen a suit and paid a deposit,
Right.
and then the bride's come back.
You get the phone call.
Yeah,
I don't like
that's
what
not
he's
what I'm
picked.
having. Yeah.
Yeah, he's chosen a green waistcoat and the bridesmaids are in lilac, and it should have been a lilac tie. Or
Right.
And he's come
Yeah.
back with his
Yeah.
tail between his legs, saying, "Oh, actually, I don't really need that anymore."
Yeah.
How does that work with colour scheme then? Because speaking for most grooms and blokes, we're not usually aware of what the colour scheme that the bride's picked. We're not probably going to know what the bridesmaids' dresses are going to be colour-wise. They just doesn't seem to register.
Well, these are questions we quite often ask when
Yeah.
people are booking an appointment. So when they'll phone
okay.
up
Okay.
and say, "Can I book an appointment to come in?" We'll be asking those questions. Have
That
you got
makes
anything in
sense.
mind? Have you got a colour of suit?
Yeah.
What colour the bridesmaids? And same with
Yeah.
emails as well. So we're trying to gather that information before they walk through the door. So
Right.
we've got a bit of an idea when they're coming in.
That's good.
exactly
Do
what
you get a
they're
lot of
thinking
grooms putting you on hold while they just go check that colour scheme?
all of our couples as well, they come in, 3 or 4 times. So
Yeah.
through that, we get to know the couples very well.
Right.
And they come in, with different people, but we
Yeah.
get to know exactly what they want, so we can basically achieve what they want of the suits.
That makes sense.
But it takes a couple of appointments to understand exactly what they want.
Yeah.
Whether it's
Yeah.
ties, whether it's waistcoats, how they want to tie into the bridesmaids, how they want to look as one, party.
Yeah.
It does take a couple of chats and conversations around that, but that's what the initial appointment is for, so we can understand what they want and what they want to look like on the photos. And I'm sure you when you have your first
Yeah.
appointment, you say, what do you want from the photo?
Yeah.
And then we can achieve that look for you.
Yeah.
And that's a similar sort of thing to what
That's
we do.
it. You're always trying to scope out their expectations, aren't you, from the get-go, so you can make sure you can exceed them. Makes total sense.
Definitely.
So your top advice is then, when you make your first appointment, come together.
Yes,
Bring your partner.
100%.
Don't try and do it on your own.
And come early as well.
Yeah, come early.
Yeah.
Don't be a lad's lad.
No,
And
don't leave it till the last minute.
Right.
We always say, to be honest with you, 12 to 14 months.
12 to 14
Give
months.
yourself more
Right.
time than you think you ever need to give yourself. 'Cause
Yeah.
you come in, have a look, have a browse, decide on what suit you want to go for. Even
Right.
if it comes down further down the line, and you change your bridesmaids or you change a slightly different look, and you go,
Yeah.
you know what? Please, can we change your waistcoats or can we
Yeah.
change your tie or whatever? We're not set in stone. We can
Yeah.
do that for you. We can work with you on that
Yeah.
because we're trying to achieve, the look that you want.
Yeah.
So that's not a problem as well.
I think you've got the difficult end of the market because with our side of stuff, predominantly a lot of the conversations we're going to have will be with the partner who's looking after it, which for the majority of the time will be a bride.
Yeah.
But then the times where we do have like face-to-face meetings with the groom, we have little WhatsApp groups with the whoever the couple are. So let's just say it's bride and groom and me. And the groom will most likely read everything that's happening, but not really know what's happening.
Yeah.
And then when we get, then we get to
Selective hearing, isn't
exactly,
it?
yeah.
They
And
hear
then we
what they wanna
get
hear.
to the pre-wedding call, and they're just guests at their own wedding.
Yeah.
A lot of the time. So you must have the difficult side of having to take these guys who are going to push this to a low priority and go, "Oh, I'll sort that out later. I
Yeah.
can just walk into a store, pick up any suit. I know what size I am. I can just grab
And for
that."
the
and
people
walk
that
away.
can, that's great.
Yeah.
But you've got to think about the whole party. You're not just thinking
Yeah.
about what I'm going to wear.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of men do, and me included. They
Yeah.
think, you know what, I'll be fine. I'll just walk in but it's not the case. For your wedding day, you want to look the best you can possibly look.
Yeah.
Not leave it to the last minute and look the worst.
I'm making men
Yeah.
sound really terrible, but it's just not. It just doesn't register. Clothes shopping just doesn't register as a high priority
No.
for
Doesn't.
men.
No.
And that's what this is. It is shopping.
And
for
most of
clothes,
them don't like
essentially.
doing it. That's the thing.
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
don't want to go suit shopping.
Yeah.
They've got better things to do. They want to go and watch the football or go
Yeah.
to the pub.
Well, that's what I like about these shops is they've got a really nice feel to them. So it feels and
It's
you're,
relaxing,
you're
yeah.
centre of town as well. So there's no harm in kind of coming here first,
Yep.
pre-alcohol,
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah.
and then go for a nice lunch, or then go with the lads, or then
We
go
always
dinner.
say that for your fittings. So obviously,
Yeah.
initial appointment, partner.
Yeah.
And then for your fittings, obviously, you've got to bring all the lads, all the dads and everything. And then that's your time to go into town. Come
Yeah.
for your fitting, we'll get you sorted. That's something ticked off.
Yeah.
You're in the good books, and then you can go in town. You can make a day of it.
Yeah.
Right.
That's the best way of doing it, rather than the other way around.
Yeah. Do you get it much then where people come in and they've had a drink first because they've been out with the lads,
Sometimes.
And then they come in here.
It's normally a 4:30 appointment on a Saturday.
Right.
Yeah.
Don't ring alarm bells.
Last fitting appointment, yeah. And there's 6 of them, and they've all, they've been in the pub.
Right.
Definitely, 100%.
Right.
Hiding each other's trousers in the change rooms and things.
It's usually not a problem, to be honest with you, because we know exactly what they're having. We can do
Yeah.
the fittings. Yes, it takes a little bit longer, and you've got to have a bit of patience with it.
Yeah.
But we know exactly what they're having. It's
Yeah.
the problem comes when they say, "Oh, I want to change this," and then you have to
Yeah.
double check the next morning. Do you actually want to change that? And
Yeah.
they come in and they're in a lounge suit and they go, actually, oh, I want tails or a tux. So one of the best men says, oh, yeah, why do you go for that?
Check with the bride.
Yeah, always check with the bride.
Right. Yeah. Check with your partner.
Yeah.
So what happens then if they come for a fit in and they think everything's good and they like gain a bit of weight, or what happens? Do you have like a final fitting to check everything's still okay, or is it just what are the steps you have? So you have your initial visit.
Yeah.
And then what happens after?
So
your
on a
initial
higher
visit?
suit, we measure the higher suits 8 weeks before the wedding.
8 weeks
So
before
it's
the
pretty
wedding.
close
Yeah.
to the wedding, so there's not that much of a chance for them to lose another stone.
Right.
Yeah.
Very rarely happens. And then a week before the wedding, the suits are ready for collection.
Okay.
Right.
We ask the bride and groom to collect the suits from store and hand them out to the guys over the
Right.
weekend. And then if anybody has changed size, we get a phone call on the Monday morning and replace it by Tuesday. So
Wow.
again, in plenty of time for the wedding.
Perfect.
So again, all pretty straightforward really, and we've been doing the same system for years.
Yeah.
So it works for us.
Do you get more people hiring or buying in terms of?
Big mixture. It used to be just
Yeah.
hire. So when we started doing hire back in 1996, it
Yeah.
was mostly retail. Then we started doing a little bit of hire.
Right.
All of a sudden, it went from retail. We didn't do any retail, and everything was hire. Until probably 7 years ago, we just bought a couple of ranges of suits, shoes, and ties, and it grew. So it's probably 50-50 now. We probably hire as much as we sell.
And is it the same process for hiring and buying?
Slightly
then?
different. I mean, to be
Yeah.
honest with you, we'd always recommend the groom buys. 'Cause
Yeah.
you can do any alterations you want to it. The
Yeah.
groomsman is slightly different, Obviously, they'll fit, but we want the groom to feel the best he possibly can on his
Yeah.
day.
So you can do more to a suit if you buy it than if you try
Slightly
and hire
more,
it.
yeah.
Slightly more.
Yeah.
Because obviously for a hire, we've got to use it a couple of times.
Yeah.
But we
Yeah.
will alter a hire suit, not a problem. So any leg length you want or any sleeve length, we
Yeah.
can do that for you. And they come in 2 fits. They come in a tapered and a tailored.
Yeah.
So we can work with whatever you want. Our hire suits go from a 34 to a 64-ish. So we can do anything you want on sort of that side.
Right.
But yeah, we can do a little bit more on the purchase,
Okay.
obviously with it being
And
theirs to
hiring or
keep.
buying, how long should they leave then for alterations? What's that magic time then?
Purchase suits, we'd always say give it a bit more than hire because we need to
Yeah.
order it in, provide everything in stock. And what
Yeah.
we usually do is we have the groom come in before the fitting for the rest of the lads, order his
Yeah.
suit. So we'd probably say about 6 months before the wedding, come in for your fitting,
Right.
and then we can get it in for you, and then we have it in for that fitting, so we can do your alterations with the other lads, so you can all come in together and have your fittings done. So your alterations done at the same time as their fittings, if that makes sense.
Right.
Yeah.
And then it'll be ready, similar sort of time to pick up as well.
Perfect.
We're saying first appointment 12 months before.
Yeah.
Yeah. First fitting appointment for purchases is
6
6 months before, and
Right.
then fitting for hires is 8 weeks.
And then you
8
pick
weeks.
up and drop back 2 days after.
Yeah.
And that's to allow time in case there's any little alterations that are needed.
Sometimes they're out of stock
Yeah.
and things like that. You
Yeah.
never know, because at the minute we're using suppliers,
Yeah.
and eventually we'll be using our own suits, so it won't have to be
Yeah.
the 6 months. We know what's in stock, so it
Oh,
can come in
amazing.
a couple of months before, and we'll have everything. But at the minute, we are sort of at liberty with what they've got.
Supplier
what we've got.
issues can be an issue for us because
Yeah.
if they've not got
Yeah.
them in stock, sometimes they don't know when they're going to come back into stock.
Yeah.
So
True.
if we sold a customer, come in 3 months before your wedding,
Yeah.
and they're out of stock for 3 months,
Right.
then we've not got a suit for a customer for a
Yeah.
wedding,
Yeah.
which is a big problem.
But that
So
won't be an
that's-
issue in the future.
No.
So.
But that's the same for every suit shop, though, isn't it? They all use suit
Yeah.
suppliers, don't they? It's the same for every clothes shop, I
Yeah.
suppose. So,
Yeah.
but you're going to be having your own groom suits.
Yeah.
So these are going to be. Oh wow. So
These are the ones.
so here to here first, then starting your own brand.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
Right. Oh, that's amazing.
They look
so
really nice as well.
they are amazing. Yeah. Is that going to allow you to have a bigger stock range or more capacity, or what
With our
benefits will that
suits.
give you having your own suits?
Benefits of having our own is
Yeah.
we do thousands of weddings a year, and we
Yeah.
have
Yeah.
done for years and years and years. So
Yeah.
we understand what grooms want. That we understand exactly what they want.
Yeah.
So when we're buying from other companies, we sort of have to sell what they have.
Okay.
Yeah.
Whereas if we're making our own, we can tailor it to our sort of
Okay.
clientele really.
Yeah.
So we
Is
know,
that design stuff then to kind
Yeah,
of
so
get
we-
what's
we-
in fashion? And
we design all of our suits.
Yeah.
So we've got 2 at the minute. We've got a couple more in
Right.
2025. So
Right,
we've literally
right.
just started.
Okay.
Yeah.
So eventually we'll have the full collection,
Oh, amazing.
and we can design it from exactly what we hear back. So we hear feedback, and we can go and act on that and go for exactly what we want.
Oh,
And we
fantastic.
get the right fit as well, so we know
Yeah.
what suit fits our customer. So
Yeah.
all of our suits are going to be exactly the same fit when they come in. At the moment, we've got 3 or 4 different manufacturers,
Oh, amazing.
all fitting differently.
Yeah.
So somebody might be a 34 waist in
Yeah.
one suit and 36 in another, but going forward, everything will be exactly the same.
And
Yeah.
you know how much you'll be able to change that suit as well for somebody
Exactly.
who needs a fitting.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So say if you've got somebody who's really, really tall, like 6'8" here,
Yeah.
that you know that you can actually, we can adapt it to we.
That's the thing, and if we can change, we can act on those changes. As soon as we decided, actually, we're getting more taller people coming in, we
Yeah.
can go right. We've got a long now, and we'll start making a long
Right.
Yeah.
because we know that's going to be good for our customers.
I do
Yeah.
struggle.
So,
Yeah, you do.
Yeah. It's I'm the M&S tall range a lot of the time. That's where I live. That being said, you did manage to fit a suit to me, so that was impressive.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was very good.
Yeah. Because you live more in this world, don't you? So Vic was a QA for Berry once upon a time.
Once upon a time, yeah.
And
And I actually have a degree.
you actually have a degree in this
I
stuff.
have a degree in
you-
clothing design
Right,
technology.
okay, well, there you
so
go.
yeah,
Yeah.
so I know about alterations.
You
But,
do.
yeah.
So whenever there's back and forth going on, I just rely on Vic to measure me up.
Well, if ever you
I'm
need a
not
job,
gonna
Yeah. Well, this is why I got so in a mood with you that it took you so long to come in for a suit.
Yes.
And I kept saying to him, no, if they have to make any alterations, which
Yeah.
they will,
Yeah.
that you were just putting it off.
Yeah, because I did the typical lads lad thing,
Yeah,
which is
I'll be
I
fine.
left it
It'll
too
be
long.
okay.
I'll be
I
fine.
assumed things will fit me, and then
even
of
being
course
6'8".
Yeah,
Yeah.
even being 6'8", because
But-
you've been buying me suits that do fit me.
Yeah.
So you know.
But
well,
I-
luckily, you came to the right place, didn't
Yeah,
you?
we did.
We've got
And-
two tailors that do
you
everything
did.
for us.
The staff
And you're really
were
accommodating
amazing.
for me, to be fair, which was
Yeah.
great, because you took on board the fact that I'd done something really stupid and left it too late, and still were able to work some magic and get it
You were
done
lucky.
quickly. But that's not something that I'd recommend to anyone, because
No.
there's
We
always the
wouldn't
possibility
recommend
that won't
No,
happen.
don't
But
recommend
we
it.
always advocate ourselves on being able to solve, if someone comes in and need a suit in 2 days,
Yeah.
and it's only
Well,
been sprung upon them,
They
we'll
were
sort
brilliant here because as soon as we walked in and we said exactly what was going on, they knew straight off, these are the suits that we can get done straight away.
Yeah.
So they knew which one had the long lead times and what we'd have issues with.
Yeah.
So that was really helpful from the get-go, was
Yeah.
knowing what we had to pick from. So
Well, all the team know exactly what stock we've got,
Yeah,
and
they
they know
were really
exactly what
great.
stock's coming in and going out,
And what
then that
sizes we
helps
can do them
massively.
in.
Yeah.
yeah.
Because if you don't know, then you don't know, and then we're all in a cycle of no one knows what we're doing. So
Yeah.
Well, that's the difference with your level of kind of customer service. That in a way, I kind of put it to the back of my brain because I knew you could sort it, but then that's not a really good thing to rely on, because
No.
you're always
a
taking
lot
that.
of people don't know that. So
They don't know
yeah.
that,
No.
and lads do take risks with how long they can leave stuff, and then it's too last minute, and
Yeah.
all of a sudden they can't get what they want. Do you get many scenarios where they can't get what they want because they've left it too long, even despite your best efforts?
Possibly a
and-
suit might
yeah.
just not be in stock.
Yeah.
They could have
Is that
come
normally
in.
the biggest holdback that
Yeah,
the suppliers won't
yeah.
have it?
Most of the time, we can get a suit to fit anybody.
Yeah.
It is very rare, but we'll always try our best to solve.
Yeah.
But obviously,
Yeah.
things aren't in our control.
Yeah.
There's not that much we can do about
Yeah.
it. But
Yeah.
anything that we can control, we will obviously do our best to do it. And then-
Because we know that with the work we do, where we give the best advice we can, and we can say you can still do what you want. It's your we can't control
Yeah.
it. It's your, and you can do what you like. But we also know what the result's going to be when you don't follow that advice, because you're so experienced,
Yeah.
and you know what's going to happen, and you know the potential pitfalls. There's always the small possibility everything will still work out, because we'll all work extra hard to
course.
try and make it happen. But 99.9% of the time that'll work, and there'll always be that one small time it doesn't, and then it scuppers everything, doesn't it?
that's why you follow the advice.
So how soon should couples start looking for their suit?
So I would recommend at least 12 to 14 months before the wedding to
Yeah.
start coming in to have a look.
Okay.
Just the whole process, we want to make sure that everybody's on the same page and we're showing the bride and groom exactly what they've asked for,
Yeah.
and we've got the right outfit for them. So yeah, plenty of time we need.
When you first come here to obviously look at suits as a couple, will there be a fitting at the first?
Not
time you
normally,
come?
no, depending on the time frame. So if
Yeah.
you're giving us 12 to 14 months,
Yeah.
we would then look at booking an appointment for the groom if he's buying his suit
Okay.
about 6 months before the wedding for his fitting on his purchase.
Yeah.
And then for the higher suits, if we're doing the rest of the wedding party, we would do those 8 weeks before the wedding.
For UK weddings, how long's the hire period?
So usually it's just over a week. So you get the suits a week before the wedding.
Okay,
So that's so everyone will try them on, make sure they fit, make sure they're 100% happy with everything,
that's good.
and then they get them back 2 days after to us.
Oh, perfect. So you
and
get a
anyone
little bit
can
of
drop them
like
off.
chill time then, kind of after the wedding. You're not kind of like running back the next day.
Hangover
to get
day,
them back.
and then the due back.
Nice.
Anyone can run them back. It doesn't have to be bridegroom if they're going on a honeymoon or whatever. It can be anyone.
Perfect.
And we'll sort that out, not a problem.
Oh, that's really good. And then how does it work for destination weddings then? So if you're going abroad to get married and you're going to hire a suit, how does that work?
So we obviously understand that it's not going to be as simple as you go to the venue and you come back a day after.
Yeah.
When you're going abroad, you know, it could be 2-3 weeks you're away there for.
Yeah.
And we can work that. That's not a problem. As long as you let us know we're not going to be back for another week and a half or 2 weeks or whatever, and we can work around, we can help you. That's fine. That's not an issue.
Oh, perfect.
But you just need to let us know.
Yeah.
So it's like an extended kind of hire then. So when you're abroad, you don't need to worry about kind of getting back straight away.
Yeah.
You can get them back to you.
So obviously, looking at all the suits around here, you don't just obviously do the UK.
No.
You can actually do weddings abroad with some of the suits, because you can see along here that some of them, the texture of them, and they're a lot thicker. And then I'm guessing you do lightweight ones.
Yeah, so we do tweeds, obviously.
Yep.
We have actually got a range of summer tweeds as well.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
UK and abroad, you're not going to get too hot in them.
Okay.
Obviously, a 2-piece is less hot than a 3-piece, but that's not we can do anything.
Yeah.
We've got loads of lightweight summer suits, various colours as well.
Yeah.
So that's not a problem.
So travelling abroad and in the UK, I'm guessing it's a good idea to buy your shirts then, get them from you guys. Because
Yep.
if you try and hire them, they won't be like pure white and crispy, will they?
No.
They'll end
So
up being
we used
washed.
we used to hire shirts
Yeah.
for most wedding parties, to be honest with you. And we look back at the photos and we thought it's not what we want a groom suit to look spot on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we saw the shirts were letting it down a little bit, because obviously once you go through the wash, even twice,
Yeah.
they're not as white as they are when you buy them.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
sure you see that in the
Yeah,
photos.
I get
as
that.
well.
Yeah,
Yeah, we see it in the photos. I get it with my own shirts, even from black shirts
Exactly.
that we wear, they just start to fade a little bit after.
So we've now got shirts we just sell. So whether you're a tuxedo, we've got loads of different dress shirts for you.
Right.
Yeah.
And we'd always sell them. So you've got a bright white shirt for every single member of the party, and they're all matching, because I believe it or not, you can get different style of shirts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Covered buttons, so fly front.
Yeah.
You've got different, collars and everything.
And sometimes that's
Yeah.
nice, because sometimes you want a groom to look slightly different than
Yeah.
the rest of his groomsmen.
But you don't want every single person in a different shirt. 'Cause
Right,
exactly.
You start
Yeah.
looking like a bit of a mess, really, and
Yeah.
that's not what we want. We want your photos to
Uniformed.
look good. Exactly.
Yeah. So the top advice then is to buy a shirt when you hire your suit or when you buy your suit.
I'd always buy a shirt. And an
Yeah.
extra one, if you are going abroad or you're in a hot place, get the groom to buy 2 shirts, or everyone buy 2 shirts.
Yes,
so you can have a little
We
swap
do see
over.
that a lot
Yeah.
when we go abroad. We do see grooms sweating through their shirts. It's nice to be able to do a bit of a change. halfway
Exactly.
through.
Freshen up a little bit, yeah.
So, being a man who has big shoes, how does it work when I come for a suit and then I need shoes to go with that style? How does that work?
So we sell shoes.
Yeah.
We would always recommend that the bride and groom select the shoe
Yeah.
for the wedding party, and make sure that everybody wears the same shoe.
Okay.
Because somebody will come in and say, I want a brown shoe, but they mean tan. So
Right.
if they tell the whole
Yeah.
wedding party, I want brown shoes, and somebody goes and buys a tan shoe,
Right.
somebody buys a brown shoe, it'll just look weird on the photographs. It just won't look good. So again, same thing with the shirts. We want everything to be uniformed and crisp and looking good. So nobody to wear second-hand shoes that have already been worn before.
Yeah.
Definitely new shoes.
It can actually make the suits look different as well. So if someone's in a pair of dark brown shoes and someone's in a pair of tan shoes, it makes the suit look lighter and darker on
Right.
photos,
Yeah.
which I'm sure you've seen as well.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now you said it, it makes sense. Yeah.
When you've got 5 people stuck next to each other and
Yeah.
they've all got different pairs of shoes on,
Just doesn't
Yeah.
look right on the
doesn't,
pictures.
it doesn't look as good as it can.
I'm guessing you can accommodate from everyone from petite feet right through to my size 13 plus.
Yeah. We've got shoes that go from size 5 up to size 14. So
Right.
yeah, we've got you covered. Don't worry.
Perfect. And you deal with all the kids as well, don't you?
Yep.
I noticed there's some
Yeah.
cute little kid suits out there. So
Hire on
Yeah.
purchase. We
Hire
do,
and
we do
purchase
everything for
those.
kids. Yeah, I think about half the range we've got at the minute. We're doing kids as well, so dads and lads or whatever.
That's
Oh.
nice.
Nephews, whatever.
Nothing more adorable than a little boy in a correctly fitted suit.
Definitely.
It looks really,
Yeah,
really nice.
they
So
look
what
really
sort of
cute.
age ranges do you do them for the little lads?
Anything from 1 to 14.
Wow,
Really?
from 1 years
Yeah,
old.
Wow.
yeah, 1 years
Wow.
old.
Yeah.
And that's the thing, you see a lot of kids wearing suits
Yeah.
for weddings, and they're not fitted
No.
properly. They've
That's
just
right.
gone, he's one, so he'll fit in a 3 or whatever, and it'll look kind of cute for a picture.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you want them, we can do all the alterations on kids as well, so we can do everything. So you bring them to the fitting.
Yeah.
They obviously have a couple more fittings because
Yeah.
they tend to grow
Yeah.
a little
Yeah.
bit, which
Yes,
is
they do change a lot, don't they?
Exactly. But we can do all the alterations for that as well, so they'll have a properly fitted suit for the
Yeah.
day, like
Yeah.
everybody else.
Yeah. What's it like trying to get a a fitted suit for a 1-year-old.
It can be problematic. You can see the issues there.
Yeah, it's hard enough keeping the little kids in the suit, to be honest, on the wedding day.
You usually have to lock off the back because there's a lot of screaming and a lot of tantrums being thrown.
And that's just Hugo.
Yeah, exactly. That's just me. It's nothing to do with the kids.
Yeah.
But it's worth it though, because when you see a little lad in a properly fitted suit,
They do
it's
look cute, don't they?
fantastic.
Yeah, especially when
It's
they're matching
lovely.
the dad as well.
Exactly, and
Yeah.
I think that's the bit that people kind of miss is when you get those kind of matching sets, and you've got dads and lads, as you said. That's just really, really lovely.
And it makes for great pictures as well, doesn't it?
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
because I think the little lads are often an afterthought, and then they'll just go and get like an off-the-shelf suit from a shop or something, and it won't quite be the same colour. And it won't. It just doesn't.
Lets it down a
Shade
little bit.
matches off, and it just doesn't have quite the same style. And
Well, that's the thing. We pride ourselves on being to be able to sort anyone. So
Yeah.
whatever size you are, we'll do it for you.
Yeah.
Anything from adults, kids, whatever we can do.
Perfect.
So it's a sort of a one-stop shop. Anything, your shoes,
absolutely.
ties, shirts, belts,
Yeah.
anything
And
you want.
cufflinks.
And cufflinks.
Yep, seen those.
Anything you want, we
Yeah,
can do it
because
here.
I've noticed you do the kind of Pinky Blinders style hats.
Yeah,
right
yeah.
through
Yeah, we
to,
sell loads.
You do top hats as well, don't you?
Yeah.
Canes,
For-
top hats, ascot.
You do canes?
Yeah, we do canes.
Nice.
So they used to
Oh,
be a
wow.
big thing, believe
Yeah.
it or not.
Yeah.
Less so nowadays, but
You come back very scratched. I think the guys used to sword fight with them.
Come on, imagine.
Yeah.
I'm guessing. I mean, obviously, all those things will be purchased, but I'm guessing for the top hats, you can just hire those because they're a different kind of hat,
Yeah.
aren't they?
Yeah.
not something you wear every day.
Yeah, you're not going to do much with that afterwards, are you?
No.
Really walk into Tesco
Same
with
with
your
tails.
top hat on and your cane.
We can sell them, but people tend not to want to.
Yeah,
Yeah.
So
yeah, they're a
it's a high
one-use
item.
kind of suit, aren't
Yeah.
they? Compared to tux that you
Yeah.
might end up wearing another time,
Exactly.
or other suits that you'll wear to somebody else's wedding
Yeah.
at some point in the future, or you've got it in stock then, haven't you?
Yeah.
yeah, that makes sense.
So how does it work then if, say, Mike's ate too much over Christmas and he comes back in for his suit and it's not quite right?
It's a nice way of saying I'm fatter.
Did you eat
Yeah.
too much cake over Christmas?
I always eat
I
too much
did.
cake.
Yeah.
Well, on a high suit, we measure 8 weeks before.
Okay.
So there's not a lot of time for people to lose too much weight between
Okay.
that eight-week period.
Right.
So it's pretty straightforward. It's literally 8 weeks measured. Try your suit on a week before the wedding. So it's only 7 weeks.
Right.
Okay.
They're not really going to lose that much weight. But
Yeah.
it's fine. So even in that 1 week period before the wedding,
Yeah.
when they've collected the suits, if anybody's put a stone on, lost a stone, we've got plenty of stock in our warehouse.
Right.
That's
We get
good
a
to
phone
know.
call on the Monday morning. We get a replacement on Tuesday afternoon from
Yeah.
our warehouse. So, yeah, easy.
That's good.
Do you try and encourage all of the groomsmen to come and get fitted by yourselves?
Yes. We do get people that live abroad or
Yeah.
down south and they can't make it for fitting. Ideally, we would like to see everybody, but
Yeah.
we know it's not always possible.
Yeah.
So in that case, we'll ask people to send measurements to us,
Okay.
but try and get them accurate. The
Yeah,
problem is
there's
most
that worry,
guys-
isn't it, with men
yeah.
and measuring tapes?
Yeah, you get guys coming in here and will say, what size waist are you? I'm a 34 waist.
Yeah.
And you look at them and you think, oh, probably more like a 38. We just give them a 38 trouser,
Yeah.
try those on, and they'll
Yeah.
fit.
Yeah.
We just don't tell them.
And then they go back to all the lads and say, I'm a 34, I'm a 34.
Yeah.
And they see the sheet and it's not quite a 34, but
Yeah.
Yeah, so anybody sending measurements into us needs to be as accurate as possible. I quite
Okay.
often say, if they've got a suit in the wardrobe that fits them, give us those sizes because it's easier than
Do
Yeah.
you
measuring
help
to
them
take.
with how to measure? Do you kind of explain to them what?
it's
how
on
to
the
do that?
website,
Yeah.
yeah. So I
Oh,
know
brilliant.
FAQs on the website. So
That's helpful.
And also, if they call us and say, I'm a 32 waist, I'm a 46 jacket,
Yeah.
alarm bells ring instantly. We
Yeah.
know that's it's possible, but it's not very likely.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
So and also we can ask for a picture, and then all the staff can see that's not quite right, and we've got experience in that, and we can
Yeah.
sort of see that's not
Yeah.
right.
yeah.
We know what we're doing on that side, and
Literally sizing people up. As you say.
Yeah.
it's weird because you walk down the street and you'd be like, it's a 32 waist. He's not a 32 waist. But yeah, that's also the week grace period as well.
Yeah.
So if they have sent measurements in, we know who
Yeah.
sent measurements in and who hasn't.
Right.
So we'll make sure we call and say, have you tried them on?
Okay.
Make sure everything's okay and especially the people that haven't been in and tried them on and
Yeah.
been measured by ourselves.
But
Yeah.
we'll have had a conversation with the bride and groom as well.
Yeah.
Okay.
When they pick the suits up, we'll know that John's not tried his suits on
Right.
in our store.
Yeah.
And we'll say, when are they coming up for the wedding? Day before.
Right.
Give us a call the day before the wedding. Any issues? Our warehouse is down the road in Warrington. We'll have a replacement for you.
Oh,
That
that's
makes
really
sense.
So we can
good.
accommodate anybody, really.
What's the difference between coming to groom and getting a suit and going to a supermarket or a shop which sells suits?
I would say naturally the range of suits we've got.
Yeah.
So we've got loads of suits, so people can come in and go, oh, I like that, I don't like that, and they can try 5 or 6 suits on, once you've tried them on, you know what you like and what you don't like.
Yeah.
So you've got the range in here that you can only need to go to Groom and you can see exactly what you've got.
Yeah.
Every suit you could possibly imagine in terms
Yeah.
of colours, style,
Yeah.
tweed, non-tweed, linen.
And you've
whatever
got you guys
want.
to help guide you with that.
Exactly,
as
you've
well,
got the
hasn't it?
expertise.
Yeah.
We've been around for over 30 years now.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
every single staff member has the expertise to run you through exactly what you want.
Yeah.
So if you've come in, I've got a picture of a suit I really want, I really
Right.
like, I've seen it online, we'll find one that's pretty much identical that you're really happy with.
Oh, that's really
And a
good.
lot of grooms do come in, or not even for the races and come in. I've got this suit, I really want it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so a lot of brides send them in with a picture and go, "Can you have a look for that one?"
Yeah.
And 9 times out of 10, we've got something identical, very similar.
Do you get that as a popular thing for you? Do you get people coming in looking for suits for the races, and is that where people come, do they come to you for that?
We mainly do weddings, so we specialise in weddings. So every member of staff is specialised and trained on how to deal with weddings and
Yeah.
couples, and what looks good and what doesn't look good in the
Yeah.
grand scheme of things. Obviously, colour clashes and everything. So we have the knowledge behind that,
Yeah.
which obviously when you go to the likes of Next or whatever,
Yeah.
they haven't got a clue. They,
Yeah.
they don't see the wedding pictures. They don't see
Yeah.
the whole process. They don't
Yeah.
see the couples come in. They don't see the pictures afterwards because they don't care.
Yeah.
Whereas
Yeah.
when couples come in here, we know we're going to look after them throughout the whole process.
Yeah.
Whatever member of staff you encounter, you'll get the same treatment and you'll get the
Yeah.
same care and expertise, no matter what store you go to, no matter what member of staff you speak to.
The thing is, our staff, everybody that works for us now, is minimum of 2 years, with
Yeah.
some staff 16, 20 years.
Wow.
So
Yeah.
it's, everybody knows exactly what we do, how we do it, and how to advise brides and grooms to select the right suit.
Yeah.
That's good.
So that's the thing, you only get married once, ideally, don't you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Fingers
not
crossed.
a lot
yeah.
of people know exactly what they want when they come in. And that's what we're here for. We're here to guide you through.
Yeah.
I like that, but I don't know whether I want it. You come in here, you try it on, and you know whether you want it. Well, once you put it on, the thing with the suit is it's not like putting a t-shirt on.
No.
Once
Yeah.
you put it on, you know if it fits right, you know if you like it.
Yeah.
And that's something that initially clicks in someone's
Has a
mind.
feel to it, doesn't it?
does,
Yeah.
it does.
Yeah.
And that's the shop as well. That's not just a suit. That's
Yeah.
the service you get. That's
Yeah.
the whole ambience you get when you come into Groom.
Mm-hmm.
Is you're gonna find something that you like.
That's really good. I mean, I find for a bloke trying on a suit, it's never a one-man operation. So I never feel comfortable just kind of going to Next and they wouldn't fit me anyway. But even is trying on a jacket, and I often find it when Vic's tailoring stuff for me is, or when I've been here and we bought suits from you, is when you're trying on a jacket, you kind of need to know how that looks at the back. You need to know how it's pulling
You don't
in.
need advice.
And you can't
need
do
to-
that, can you?
No, you can't tell.
You haven't got eyes on the back of your head.
We did a suit recently, and Vic took a picture of the back. When we were doing the suit here, she had to take a picture of my back for me, just to kind of show how your shoulders look in that, how that pulls in at the back. And you're never going to be able to work that out on your own and know whether you can only look down and look in a mirror
Yeah.
and go, yeah, I'll look okay.
Yeah.
And that's
And
about it.
We've got the advice, so if we see something that we think, that could be improved, like
Yeah.
tailoring a jacket, we won't. We'll tell you what we
Yeah.
think. We'll give you our advice. If you choose not to take it, that's one thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we'll always give you our advice on how we think it should look.
Well, you're looking for the areas where things are going to pull and where they're not quite fitting right,
Yeah,
or where
exactly.
they're too much over on the shoulder, and all that stuff that as blokes we're just not tuned into anyway.
No,
Yeah.
a lot of guys don't know how a suit should fit.
No.
So they'll
No.
come in and they'll try a jacket on,
Yeah.
and it's too big, and they're saying, "Oh, it's really comfortable."
Yeah.
Well, it's comfortable because it's too big for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if we go down a size, it fits better. But a lot of the time they'll be pulling their arms and saying, it's a little bit tight.
Yeah.
But we'll give them that advice that this is how a suit should fit. Have a
Yeah.
look in the mirror. You
Yeah.
can see it's too baggy in your arms. You can
Yeah.
see it's too loose on your waist. Most of the time they'll listen.
The
Yeah.
classic one you get is they come in, they go, "It's too short." You're not going to walk around with your hands
No,
in the air,
no,
are
that's
you?
it.
You measure us when it's a jacket when it's by your side,
Yeah.
not when you're up in the air like this.
Yeah.
And the other one they go, "It's too tight."
Yeah.
You're not walking around like that
No,
either.
you're
are
not
you?
gonna
do
any of that.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't do
You-
that.
There's
you
a
may-
very
yeah.
limited range of movement in a good
Yeah.
suit.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And it's interesting you say that I don't think men know how a suit should fit on you. I don't think we know what that should even look like, to be fair, because it's
Yeah.
just not something we get as an everyday education. I mean, we shoot a lot of weddings where people can't tie a tie. And, I tied a tie when I was back in school, and you just kind of get used to it. You've got that memory of it. Then ask somebody to do a Windsor knot. Ask somebody to do a bow tie. Ask somebody to do, and it's just not something, because we don't live in the world of, let's just say, lords and ladies and gentlemen anymore,
No, exactly.
kind of thing.
Yeah.
It sounds silly. That's such a little thing, how to
Yeah.
tie a tie. But when you come in
Yeah.
here, every single staff member ties the tie for you.
Yeah.
So you don't have to tie your tie. We'll come, and if you want your tie time for your wedding,
Yeah.
we'll pop it in the bag for you pre-tied. So all
Yeah.
you've got to do is pop it over your neck, and that's all
Oh,
done
that
for
would
you.
be so much more
So
fun.
that's-
On
yeah,
a wedding
it
day
is.
for
It
us.
is.
Seriously.
That's the experience you want though from a suit shop.
It's the little things, isn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
you want to be able to come in and you want somebody else to impart that knowledge onto you, because as much as we don't want to admit it, we don't really know what we're doing as blokes when it comes to suits. We think we do, but we don't,
No.
because it's not part of our everyday etiquette to wear, unless you wear a suit for work every day. But even then, at some point, when you first bought that suit, that was probably fitted for you.
Yeah.
Somebody came and gave you advice on how that should be sitting on you. So it's just something that I think maybe a bit of ego and pride in that as well for us to, I know what I'm doing.
On that point, if you're wearing a navy suit every day for work and everything,
Yeah.
they'll naturally gravitate to something different for the wedding day.
Yeah.
So they might feel comfortable in a navy suit. That's great, and a navy suit looks great on everyone.
Yeah.
But we would always recommend you go for a slightly different suit for your wedding day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because if you're in a navy suit for your wedding day and you're in a navy suit for work, what's special about it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've got to ask, I probably know the answer. What's the most popular suit that ends up getting hired?
Navy blue.
Every time.
Every time, is it?
And it will be.
People just gravitate towards the
Every
navy
time.
stuff.
We've just got a new green suit that's just come out for hire, which is
Right.
really popular.
Yeah.
So that's really taken off. The colour
Yeah.
green. It's unbelievable.
It's not
Over
an
the last
in-your-face
18
green.
months. No,
Not
it's
an
not
No,
in-your-face
green.
green.
weirdly, we had. I see it a lot in like Mother of the Bride dresses where greens are really kind of like popular colour to go for. But I had a green suit jacket in Tuscany. Which was a really interesting look to kind of go with. It just kind of broke it up completely. What sort of colours do you recommend people have when they have their wedding abroad? What do you normally kind of
A lot
recommend
of
for
sort
them?
of beige suits, really.
Beige suits,
We do a
yeah.
very nice beige suit that also comes in like a sky blue, a few
Yeah.
different other colours. Light, really. That's what
Yeah,
people want.
the
They
light
don't want
colours,
to-
yeah.
yeah,
Colours
they don't
for
want
getting
like
married abroad, right.
nobody gets married abroad in a black suit
No.
unless it's a tuxedo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, light colours, light fabric.
We do see tuxes abroad. It does,
Yeah.
it does
Yeah.
happen.
Popular, isn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
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 They look
Yeah.
hot, but they do it.
You can wear the braces and you've just got your trousers and your shirt and your braces on then, haven't you?
Yeah.
You've not got all the warmth of the tweed and everything like that.
Yes.
For abroad, we probably recommend a solid colour, so either it's a light cream or
Right.
a beige or a sky blue or something like that. I wouldn't recommend the bold, checks, and because
Yeah.
they usually are tweed anyway, to be fair.
Right,
When
okay.
you're the bold checks and everything like that.
Yeah. So for 2025, is there any trends at the moment that you see for this year?
Green. is
Green,
popular.
yeah.
Yes. I would say over the last 18 months, it's just really sort of taken off.
Yeah.
We do a really nice green check suit. Groom quite often wears a cream waistcoat underneath it.
Right,
Nice.
The
okay.
rest of the guys in a three-piece green suit.
Okay.
What else is popular? Silver grey. We're doing a lot of now.
Oh, right,
Tuxes,
okay.
and with 2035, it's only been 2-3 weeks in now.
Yeah, I know.
Tuxes have been crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ever since last year, sort of summer last year,
Yeah.
all everyone wants is tuxes.
That's what we see a lot of.
tuxes.
Yeah.
Tuxes are in.
And a
yeah.
new a new style as well is the shoulder lapel. So it's quite a popular one at the minute. So the peak lapel is your classic arrow straight in,
Yeah.
and you've got the shoulder lapel, which is sort of a rounded collar,
Right.
and that's been a lot more popular because it's a tuxedo.
Yeah.
But it's a slightly more modern and it's slightly different to a
Right.
standard tux because everyone comes in and goes, oh, it's a black tux, great.
Yeah.
I've seen people get married in that all the time.
Yeah.
But that's
So-
where the differences are. The difference in the waistcoat, the difference in the lapel.
Yeah.
That's your little
That's
subtle
the little
differences.
variations. So with your Groom brand that you're going to be launching, is it already launched? Is it already out?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So that's going to give you more flexibility then, isn't it? For when you're tailoring stuff for destination weddings, you'll be able to have a different range of colours that kind of suit for that.
Yep.
And then were you going to be? I know you're going to try and tune into the latest fashions on a lot of stuff, but in terms of designs, are you going to try and focus just on the designs that you see the most popular of? You was talking then about
Yeah.
the different variations you have. Is that something you're going to keep in stock for? You're going to, or is that?
So we try not to follow trends, to be honest
Yeah.
with you, because what
Yeah.
we do is, weddings a couple of years in advance.
Yeah.
And trends can just either come up and come straight back down again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we want something that's consistent, like a tux.
Okay.
Yeah.
Your cream's always going to be consistent.
Yeah.
So a
And your
cream,
navy blues.
And your
Yeah.
navy blues.
Yeah.
And even the greens now, they've been around for years now, and they're still popular.
Yeah.
So I don't see that as a trend, to be honest with you. I just see it as a
Right.
as a new
okay.
suit that people
Yeah.
like, and it's a little bit different to your navy. You've got a couple of options, and you've got your tux, you've got your navy, you've got your cream. You've got sort of 4 options there you can go for, and from those 4 options, you have different waistcoats and things.
Right.
And we can always, see a new trend's coming in,
Yeah.
and we can act upon it and go for a different waistcoat or anything.
Yeah.
The Naples suit we've got in at the minute, so we've just got that in the cream,
Right.
and that's a Groom brand.
Yeah.
We've got samples coming in a dark green, a navy,
Wow.
and a black as well. So we are going into having a couple of different options for everyone. And from there, you can go different waistcoats. You can mix and match trousers, jackets.
That's good.
Yeah.
You're not setting a three-piece in a block colour.
Right.
Yeah.
I guess that's something you'll have control of as well, won't you? Because you'll be able to pick those colour tones where you'll be able to mix and match more, I would have thought, than what you're just kind of being supplied with at the moment. You'll be able to make better decisions that'll give you more flexibility and that kind of stuff.
It's nice for the groom as well to have those options, like Hugo's saying about mixing and matching the waistcoat.
Yeah.
The groom will normally mix and match the waistcoat, and the other guys will have a three-piece suit.
Right.
And it's the waistcoat that's going to make the groom stand out on the wedding day, on the pictures, as you obviously see day to day. And then keeping the tie maybe the same colour throughout, and it's just the groom's waistcoat just giving him that little bit of an edge on everybody else in the wedding party.
Well, one of my favourite shoots we did was a same-sex couple shoot, and there's a couple of grooms. And the suture supply, I think, I don't know where they are now, but they've probably moved on in terms of style, but it was having that two kind of light-coloured suits, but they were obviously two grooms, so they were different suits. But there was just these common elements back and forth between them that tied them together.
It's all the
That made
tones, wasn't it? It was
Yeah,
lovely.
it was. There was something about it that just together it worked really, really well. Individually, they were great suits anyway, but it's not something you see very often. Normally, you just kind of see a very kind of straightforward suit, and they'll just get two of them.
And that's what you got to think about as well. You've got to think what the photo is going to look like.
Yeah.
Whether you're bride and groom or whatever, groom, whatever.
Yeah.
You've got to think, how will my picture's going to look?
Yeah.
And that's what we'll help you with, because that's not initially something you come in and think,
No.
oh, I need to think exactly how my pocket square is going to match.
Yeah.
And that's the advice we'll give to you. We'll say, I would personally wear that tie, so you can match in with all your groomsmen and you can all look uniform. But it's, as men especially, it's not something I'd initially come in and think, oh, let me think about what colour my tie is going to be to match that. It just doesn't happen.
No, we're not good on colour palettes and tie matching and things along those lines. No, totally go. You
guys are.
That's why we come to you.
Yeah, I mean, you can see that in the shop yourselves, and I quite like the idea that you've gone and you've actually put as many suits out as possible dressed with what they should look like on a wedding day. And when we came in looking for what you were going to wear for the christening for our little man Ethan, it was a case of, well, what pocket scarves do you want? You know, it was all the different changes that we could make.
It's the vision,
just
isn't it? You've got to see it to believe it.
Yeah.
And that's why we've got so many TVs set up. We've got so many mannequins there. Because they come in and go, oh, I like that. And then they go to the hanger and they go, I don't like that suit.
And sometimes
but that's not how it's going to. That's not how it's going to look on yourself.
Yeah.
It's going to look much better than it will on a hanger.
Well, it's overwhelming for a bloke to know what they want, to know how it's going to look, and how it's going to fit. So your ego tends to take over, and you go, oh yeah, I know what that's going to be. I'll just leave that till the last minute. It'll be fine. I'll just go get it off the shelf. It's no problem. Not to be able to give yourself over to the process and say, trust the people who do this every day.
Yep.
They're going to be able to take a look at you and see what's going to work. And if you tell them what your wedding's a little bit what's going to be like, or get your partner to tell them, they'll find the tones that are going to match that for you. And you can see that just with the way everything's kind of set out. You can kind of see it's easy enough for them to kind of go, that'll match that. That'll work with that.
You can see how much range we've got, can't you?
Exactly.
All the ties, we've got hundreds of ties. So we can know, you can show me a bridesmaid, a swatch of the bridesmaid's dress, and I'll find you something that's identical.
And that's all you need. You just need that common element, don't you, to tie all those colours together.
It's only got to be little.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be in your face. You've got to have the same suit as the colours of the bridesmaids. It doesn't work like that. It's just got to be something that ties
everything together.
As well as that, it's not just, like we were saying before, about if you went into a shop to, you know, one of the ones on the high street. It's, you could go in there, you could try on a couple of suits, and you'd probably get really agitated and go, this doesn't fit, I don't know what this is meant to look like, and you'd walk out feeling really miserable because, like we said, you don't fit into ordinary shops. But when you came here, you enjoyed the whole process. You came out and you were so happy, and you were like, yeah, that's what shopping should be.
That's what we like to have a laugh with
that's
our
what it should be.
it
should be that you can come in here and someone's going, no, right, you look great in that, but if you put this on, you'll look even better. If we do this, it changes your whole look. And you can see the lift that a person gets from it. You came out buzzing from it.
Because it's service, isn't it? It's not, I mean, don't get me wrong, we're not all looking for that pretty woman moment where, you know, people are going to come out with all these different outfits and go this way. A little bit. But you just want somebody who knows what they're talking about to be able to come over and be able to solve those problems for you. And
that's a friendly approach we have.
And that service, and it's super comfortable the whole way through, and never felt at any point that somebody's talking down to you or kind of you shouldn't do that, or you shouldn't do this, or this isn't going to work. It was very much they felt like they were on your side. This is the problem you've got. Let's solve it. This will work best for you. This will suit you, and just be willing to take that advice and lean into it. And I think there was a couple of suggestions that we made. They explained to you why that's not going to work for someone of your frame or someone of your size, and it was very nicely done. Really, really nicely done. It was a good process. I enjoyed it.
Good.
So when it comes to like group pictures, every now and then we see like a slight variation in groom suits and things along those lines. Does that come from your inspiration here? Do you normally recommend that to have like a slight difference between the groom and the groomsman so they don't all just blend in together?
Definitely, yeah. We do quite a few suits where we'll sell a suit to the groom, and it might be a beige suit.
Yeah.
And then the rest of the wedding party will have a nice navy blue suit with the same beige waistcoat as the groom.
That's nice.
So the waistcoat for the groomsman, best man, dads, and everybody's matching the groom's suit.
Yeah.
So it really makes the groom stand out. He's got a nice cream suit. They've got a cream suit to match, and then maybe a tie to match in with the bridesmaids' dresses.
Yeah.
To sort of tone everything together.
I
so
like
that sort of photo then would all be matching. The bridesmaids are going to be matching the ties.
Yeah.
The guy's waistcoat's going to be matching the groom. So it all sort of blends together, and it looks like you put some thought into it.
Yeah, that's really good. That it's nice to have that from our point of view as photographers. It's nice to have that little bit of separation between the groom and the groomsman. Just a little bit. It only needs to be subtle.
Yeah,
just something that makes them kind of stand out from the crowd, so to speak.
I mean, we'll have some grooms that will want everybody in the same suit, the same waistcoat.
Yeah.
So in that sense, what we'd say to them is maybe just have a different tie.
Yeah.
Put the guys in a plain tie. If it was a champagne tie, we've got a plain champagne tie.
Yeah.
We do a paisley champagne tie for the groom, just to make him stand out that little bit. And maybe have a different buttonhole, something a little bit bigger with a little bit more detail.
Right.
And then we do the little chains on the waistcoats as well for the groom.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Little fob chains, just little finishing touches just to make him stand out a little bit.
So, when the groom comes in and you have those little like watches and chains and all those kind of things, do you give them a little kind of tutorial on how they work?
Yes,
and,
definitely.
We forever see people not know how they work. Yeah.
And like tying ties, as you said before, we'll ask a bride and groom, do you want us to pre-tie the ties for you?
Yeah.
So everybody's got them on the wedding day and they're all the same
great.
knot.
Oh, so they can come all pre-tied and ready to... Oh, that's
Yeah.
fantastic. Right. I just thought it was in the shop. I didn't realise you can
No,
have
we'll
them all
do that.
kind of ready.
Do whatever you want.
Do you know, I wish more people would shop here because the amount of Windsor knots that we end up having to do for people just...
I bet that's part of the job, isn't it? Now you've almost got to just tie it.
Unfortunately, yeah, because, I mean, I'm not so good at them. I've got colleagues who are much better at them, but between bow ties and Windsor knots, they just trip people up all the time.
Yeah.
So the fact that you guys can pre-tie those ties for them on request is really, really good. That's really helpful.
It's all on the Instagram as well, so if you want to learn how to tie a Windsor knot, we've all got tutorials on the Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, everything. So it's all on there. If a groom goes, I forgot, just log on to Groom and we'll...
So that would be one of your top tips then, to go onto the Groom Instagram and look at how you tie your type of tie, so whether it be a Windsor knot or a bow tie, and practice.
Definitely practice, because it does take a couple of attempts.
It does.
You're not just going to put it on and go, oh, great, I'm done now, that's it.
Yeah.
It does take a bit of fiddling and a bit of, once you've got it right, and it's up here, it's fine. You're all sorted.
That's the one thing that can delay the morning of,
Yes.
is the fact they're all faffing around with ties because they haven't put
It's meant to be the bride that's late, not the groom.
Yeah,
So-
that's right, yeah.
You also get the difference of, we noticed it a lot, that the men will used to tie in a tie all the time, some of the older gentle, and they'll tie it, and then there's somebody who they're wearing waistcoats and they haven't realised the length of the tie, and it's sticking out at the bottom, and it's that whole, you need to retie it, and they're like, well, this is the way I've always done it. It's like, no, you've got to it's like, it needs to be shorter. So yeah, we do have a lot of that happens.
I feel like there needs to be a valet service that just comes out with each wedding and just kind of gets these lads ready, tidied in the morning.
There you go.
The worst thing is
that's
a loose
it,
tie that's not actually pulled up to the top of the collar.
Yes.
I mean, that must happen a lot on wedding days.
No, it does happen a lot.
But we do tell people to make sure you've got your tie up.
Yeah.
And
You must
obviously
see a lot of
enjoy
that.
it.
We do when we do group photos. I think part of what we get paid to do is to make sure that they're done right, and that means we do a quick flower check on everyone, just make sure that everything's not drooped, make sure everyone's ties are looking good, hands are in the right places, and you're either all tucked in, you're either all buttoned up or you're not all buttoned up, just so it's all kind of uniform.
And we would always recommend unbuttoned your jackets, because you got the waistcoats, usually it's a contrasting waistcoat underneath, so we'd always recommend keep your jacket open, and then you've got your waistcoat to show as well, and it just makes the photos look nicer, because if you have got a contrasting waistcoat, like Dan said, you've got the cream waistcoat to match the groom's suit. If you can't see it, what's the point in wearing it?
Show it off.
I have a question for you. What's your preference when you see somebody stood in a suit and they're just posing for themselves? Hand in a pocket or not in a pocket?
I'm indifferent. I like a bit of both, to be honest. I like the hand in the pocket.
I think it looks good, hand in pocket.
Yeah.
Because
one in,
what
one
else
out.
is it going to be? You're a bit nervous, aren't you?
Yeah,
Yeah.
you don't know what to do with you.
It almost looks natural, doesn't it? When you've got your hand in
Yeah.
your pocket, it's sort of like you're not thinking about it. Whereas a lot of, obviously not your photos, but a lot of photographers for weddings, they almost look like I'm here for a photo rather than it being natural.
Or penalties.
Yeah,
exactly.
rather than it being natural and what's actually going on. I'm sure in the photos you get the odd one wearing white socks as well. I've seen a lot of photos where you got one groomsman wearing white socks, or even worse, pin socks.
Yeah. It boils down to the fact that as we just don't know how to wear suits well, and one of the things we try to show people when they're doing group photos, and it takes a minute, is when you put your hand in your pocket, is you need to, because they'll go, I'll put your hand in your pocket, and they just put it in the pocket. Take your hand out your pocket, brush your jacket back first,
Oh, the jacket
then put your hand in your pocket, then pull that little bit through, and it'll sit correctly, and you have those lines. What we always say to grooms is, and for other people, is people will come to you. So don't lift your arms up and try and put them round like you're doing a rugby scrum, because it'll change the lines of your suit. You stand with your hand in your pocket, again, with your jacket done correctly. Mum can put their arm through you, and people come to you.
It's much easier to do it in a dress than a suit, because otherwise you've got your hands in the air and your whole jacket's open, and it just ruins the point of wearing a suit, because you just look like a mess.
And it works for the women as well. We always say to them, if you keep your hands on your flowers, let people come to you. Don't you be putting your arms out.
Yeah.
And for the gentleman, you need to put your arm round the bride, under the veil, round the waist, under the veil. And that way, if you're putting your hand around people's waist, it doesn't lift those lines of the suits.
Exactly.
And you don't get those kind of weird looks from it. But all that kind of stuff, that little bit of TLC during group photos of how to have your hand in your pocket, and how to have how to brush it back first, and where to have your arms, it does make a big difference, and it does change how that's going to look, because all that effort you guys have made, and then they just lift their arms up, and then it goes out the window.
Or they put loads of bulky stuff in their pockets.
Phones,
mobile phones.
When you've got your phone in your pocket, and just put it in your jacket.
Put it in your jacket. There's a reason why. There are so many pockets as well. Or speeches, they're like, I've got to carry my speech. Or the worst is when they're carrying the rings in a big bulky box, and you think, why?
So there's a line we say to all the gentlemen when we do the group shots, that gentlemen, there should only be one bulge. Mobile phones in your back pockets, keys in your back pockets when you're having your group photos done, and then we'll take care of the rest. And that way you're not ruining the lines of your suit, because you've got these amazing suits that you guys have sorted for them, and then they'll have their arms in the wrong place, or they'll have stuff in their pockets, and it's just all gone out the window. These luxurious suits, and it's gone.
Doesn't make for a good photo.
No, it does not. It does not make for a good photo. Yeah, only one bulge.
Yeah, only one bulge.
Keep that in mind.
If you're lucky.
It's a good. Well, that's the thing. As soon as we say, because there's so many jokes we have to go through. People will say, right, just let's put your hands in your own trouser pockets for me, and then turn that way. And they like the little, don't be putting your hand in my pocket and all that kind of stuff. And again, you'll get that. I said that to a groom once who had his mobile phone in his pocket, and I said, listen, there should only be one bulge. Take that phone out, pop it in your back pocket. And the bride made some off-the-cliff joke. He said, bulge. And they just, that's it. Surrounded by all of his groomsmen.
Poor fella.
Poor fella. The colour just sank out of his face, unfortunately.
So you've obviously spoke about how the groom can stand out wearing a different waistcoat or different accessories, or just making that slight change. Do you get many men that come in and decide that they want a change of jacket in the evening? Because sometimes we see the cream tuxedo jackets, don't we?
It's happened a few times, where we've done maybe just like a standard tuxedo for the day, nice black tux, and then maybe they've gone for a velvet jacket in the evening with a bit of colour to it.
Second look for the evening.
Yeah. We do a lot of velvet jackets in different colours, so we can do a lot to match the bridesmaids' dresses. We do sage green, bottle green, red, burgundy, so lots of different colours. So sometimes it's nice for them to sort of tone in a little bit with that.
And the bride gets to do it, don't they?
Yeah, exactly that.
I think it's only fair when you have brides having a second look, that groom should have a second
Sometimes
look.
a third look, don't they?
It's true. There's a lot more out there for the bride, obviously. So I felt a bit sorry for the men. So
If David Beckham didn't do it, anybody can, can't they?
Well, yeah. Do you get many people that you see, like, say, I don't know, whatever's in the social media at the time, say a new suit comes out, or somebody's wearing something, a footballer, or I don't know, like you say, a famous person will come along and you see something and you go, oh, we're going to get a lot of people coming in for that, and you realise...
Peaky Blinders, for example.
Oh, yeah.
I've never seen... We didn't do a lot of tweed before that.
Yeah.
Peaky Blinders comes on the show. All right. Tweeds everywhere.
Yeah.
Endless tweed.
Endless tweed.
Every
Flat
phone
caps.
call when it was on was, do you do Peaky Blinders suits? Every single phone call, it was crazy.
Luckily you do.
Yeah, well, yeah.
And the hats, the whole thing. Yeah, flat caps,
David Beckham went to the royal wedding in a navy tailcoat. And the amount of people that will come in with this picture of David Beckham in this suit with a grey waistcoat, it was just crazy. For like 2 years, do you do this? Of course we do, yeah.
So whenever there's like a royal wedding or something going on now, you're like, right, we need to watch that.
Yeah,
we
We
know
had a
what's
royal
coming.
wedding this year, didn't we?
We
Yeah.
did.
So in Chester. So.
Do you keep an eye on that sort of stuff then? Do you keep an eye on those kind of events and you go, I think that's going to be a thing? You watch.
You
we'll get
need
lots of
to,
these
don't you?
calls.
You need to know what's coming. Because if you don't know what's coming, you've got no idea.
All of a sudden, you've got an influx of
But yeah,
orders from
you
these.
bought black tails, didn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So obviously we've seen a few more black tails coming in. We don't do massive for weddings, but anyone that we do, it changes every year. So as you say, David Beckham, we did a load of navy tails.
Yeah.
This year we've done a load of black tails, and it does change. We can do loads of different waistcoats as well to go with them. So it does change year on year, and it depends what the celebrities are wearing. Because we like to. As soon as we see what celebrities
We all
are
do
wearing,
it, don't we?
exactly.
Yeah. We all copy.
Because they always look the best in them, don't they? That's the annoying thing. You put it on, it's not quite the same.
Yeah. So if I came in and there's a suit that I can't see on the shelf that's not quite me, and you can't see something that's not quite me, but I've got something in mind, can you get something that's not on the shelf?
Yes,
That's
so
not here?
we've got a bespoke range that we do. Quite a few hundred different cloths. Not that expensive, starting at £400.
It's 350, I think it is. now.
350, there you go.
Just went down.
You can choose your cloth, your lining, your buttons. You can have it embroidered with your wedding date on or your name.
That really is
Wow.
bespoke,
So
isn't
really,
it?
people can really go to town
So
on
I
it.
can come to you with a picture, and you could make that suit essentially. Yeah.
Yeah.
And we're doing more and more of them. And even if it's just a jacket, so that you want to go in navy pants and a navy waistcoat, and you want a slightly different jacket that nobody else has, and they want to make it their own, we can do that for you, not a problem.
Oh, amazing.
Same with shirts. We do bespoke shirts as well.
Oh,
So you can have
okay.
your initials on the cuff and that sort of thing.
Oh,
So
that's really popular.
for your
That's
wedding
really
day, you
nice.
can have your wedding date on there again.
Yeah. So you can get your initials and your wedding date on the cuff of the shirt.
Yeah.
That's
Can you do that on, say, if you bought just one of these jackets here, could you get that done on? You sometimes see it at the bottom of the collars and
Just on the bespoke at the moment.
just on the bespoke, yeah.
Do you get to choose all the lining and everything?
On the
with
bespoke,
stuff?
loads of linings to pick
Yeah.
from. Some just sort of plain linings, reds, and the popular colours that you'd match
Yeah.
the bridesmaids' dresses.
Oh, okay,
But then
yeah.
there's some really wacky patterned fabrics as well. So yeah,
Again, this ties into the time frame as well. So if we
Yeah.
haven't got the time, you can throw it out the window. If you come in and say, I really, really want this, but you've given me 2 months to do it,
Okay.
it's not going to happen.
So I come in and I want a bespoke suit,
Yep.
and I want to choose my own fabric, choose my own buttons. I want initials on the cuffs of my sleeve, and I want the wedding date and all those things. How long should I leave it before I come in?
Well, it's in that 12 to 14 months.
12 to
Okay.
14
Because
months.
12 to
Okay.
14 months, we can do anything you want.
Okay.
So if you say, I want this, and I want it exactly how I want to do it, and that's how it's going to be, that's
Perfect.
fine. We've got the time then to do whatever you want to do.
Right. Okay.
Whereas if, we get a couple coming in 5-6 months in advance
Yeah.
saying, I want this,
Yeah.
it's never a no unless something's out of stock.
Yeah.
But you never know whether it will be in stock. That's the thing.
So everyone getting married in summer 2026 should be coming in
Summer 2025 at
summer
least.
2025
Latest.
at the
Yeah.
latest. Right.
What alterations can you make to one of the suits if you buy it?
So if you buy a suit and you pick it off the shelf and it doesn't quite fit, but
Yeah.
we're not a million miles off, we'll sort that for you. So trouser length, we can nip in the jacket, we can taper trousers, taper sleeves, whatever you want to do really. We take
Yeah.
up sleeves, it's not a problem. Because we'll make that purchase suit fit you like a bespoke suit
Brilliant.
without the price.
So obviously everyone's a different shape and size. Some people are tall, some people are short, some people are slim, some people are not slim. What can you accommodate for?
so our suits come in different fits. They come in short, regular, and long jackets.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we can accommodate tall people such as yourself,
Yeah.
and the shorter guy. The adult suit sizes go from a size 34 chest up to a size 64 on average.
Yeah.
Okay.
But we can do a bespoke range, as we mentioned,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and we've done up to size 88
Wow.
chest.
Brilliant.
So there's nobody we can't fit a suit for.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can
Everyone.
fit everybody.
Everyone.
That's
Yeah.
really
Yeah,
good.
very inclusive.
Provided we have the time frame.
Yeah.
If we don't,
Yeah.
Again, if we don't have the time frame, we can't do it.
Which is
Yeah.
12 to 14 months.
I know, it's 6 to 8 then, I don't know.
12 to 14 months. We've got the time. We
Yeah.
know what you want. And it's usually there's one or two people in the party that are not the same size as everybody else.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's where we need the time to find exactly what
Yeah.
we need to do for them. They need to come in for a couple of fittings and then we'll get them sorted.
Yeah.
But it's possible, provided we have the time.
Yeah,
Anything's
that,
possible.
that is the most important thing there. So for any bride is that they need to make sure if they're getting married next summer, they're getting their groom in the door now.
Yeah.
Yeah, as quick as we can.
Yeah. And you don't need to worry about which groomsmen you pick or how many
No.
because you'll have something to cater for all
Correct.
of them.
And the more the grooms will look better on the photos. So if you've
Yeah.
got 2 or 3 lads, it doesn't look as good as if you've got 7, 8, 9.
Yeah.
And I'm sure you'll see that on your photos as well.
So with your hire suits, obviously you said that they get a couple of days, don't they, to bring it back? It's 2 days, isn't it?
Yep.
Do you have anything that comes back in the suits any strange things?
Some very, very strange things.
Yeah.
Viagra.
Okay.
Bras.
Bras.
Yeah.
You've got the obvious, speeches and tissues and
Oh, yeah.
whatever. And we have a laugh on the Monday morning reading the speeches and
Oh,
everything.
do you?
Best
Yeah.
lad speech is always the best one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Paracetamol
Right.
or not paracetamol, we never know.
Yeah.
Never any money.
Oh.
It's out of order, isn't it? Never
I'm
a
sure
little
you'd
tip in
return.
there.
I'm
Yeah.
sure you'd return it
Oh, of
anyway.
course
if it
I
came
would.
through. Sure you would.
I feel sorry for whoever left the bra.
Well,
They probably
don't
want
think it was
that
theirs.
back.
I feel sorry for the person who forgot their bag.
Yeah, true.
So, what's coming up in 2025?
So we've got a couple of things, to be honest with you. We've got the new Warrington shop. So
Yep.
we've been in the Warrington shop for over 30 years now. So
Yeah.
it's time for a bit of a change.
Okay.
Going to a much bigger shop. So it's about
Ooh.
3 times the size.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah.
Because we've got too busy for the Warrington shop at the minute. It's the
Where
smallest.
does this shop sit in terms of like size of the shops you've got then? So
This currently is the biggest one.
Yep.
And it's
Yeah.
on 1 floor, which helps.
okay.
Okay.
Warrington is a little bit smaller and it's sort of in a layout where it's 2 separate rooms rather
Okay.
than one shop. Whereas
Okay.
this flows, it doesn't quite
It
flow.
does,
The
yeah.
new one is going to be 3 times the size and it's all going to be one long corridor. So it's going to
Fantastic.
be linking into all the shops.
Oh, amazing.
Ooh.
So
which
you'll be
is-
able to get the full Groom range out there.
Exactly, yeah. So
Yeah.
you'll have the big, showroom at the front leading
Yeah.
into the fitting room, changing rooms, and then you'll have a bit at the back where all,
Yeah.
all the storage goes on, all the magic happens.
Yeah.
So we've got the groom suits coming in this year. We've got
Yeah.
2 at the minute. So we've got the Ezra and we've got the Naples, a dinner suit and a cream suit. We're
Mm-hmm.
looking to have a green, a navy, and a black in the Naples,
Amazing.
and then we'll go into other, branches of suits and tweeds, whatever we want to do.
And,
at
and
that
these
time.
are, this is your brand.
Our
Your-
personal brand, yeah. So we're not. It's not going to be sold anywhere else. You're only going to find that in a groom store. So either Liverpool, Warrington, and Chester.
Fantastic.
You're not going to find it anywhere else.
That's
We've
amazing.
also got another exciting thing which me and Dan are in.
Yeah.
In September.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
a TV show.
Okay.
I can't say the name of it.
All right.
Top
But
secret.
it's coming out in September.
Oh, wow.
Oh, okay.
And it's to do with weddings, as you can imagine, with
Yeah.
what we do.
Wow.
I'll leave it at that though.
Oh,
Okay.
fantastic. Oh, we're looking forward to
We'll
seeing
leave-
that.
I'll keep
yeah.
you guessing.
Yeah.
But yeah, you'll all on the socials, Instagram, TikTok. As soon as it comes out, it'll all be on there.
Fantastic.
So yeah.
Well, we recommend any grooms be jumping on your socials anyway, because if
Yeah.
you've got those tutorials on how to tie things, and I'm sure you've got lots and lots of useful information about, what type of suits, work best, what colours and trend and things
Exactly,
like that. So,
and you
yeah.
can get to use all the team as well. So we've got the behind the scenes on the Instagram and the TikTok.
Yeah.
So you can see what really happens
Yeah.
rather than when you come in, you're in here for an hour and a half max.
Yeah.
You only see that small bit.
Yeah.
You don't see all the effort that goes into it. You don't see all the care
Yeah.
and all the the warehouse, all the staff in the warehouse trying to find
Yeah.
your suits, picking your suits, making sure they're spot on,
Yeah.
looking for any minor details.
Yeah.
You don't see that unless you're on the Instagram.
Nice. That's good, that.
So you must have some funny stories then, working in the
I think
industry.
my favourite is it was a long time ago. A guy was getting married abroad,
Yeah.
and his best man came in a couple of weeks before his wedding and asked could he hire a separate pair of trousers for the groom that were 2 inches too small and 2 inches too short. And with it being a destination wedding, the groom, obviously, when he tried his trousers on, panicked, thinking, these
Yeah.
trousers are mine. What am I going to do? I can't just ring the shop up
Yeah.
and ask them to send me another pair of trousers out. And I think he left him sweating for about 10 minutes.
That's a good practical
Yeah,
joke, that. I
yeah,
like that. Yeah.
So it went down quite well in the end when he realised that he did have his proper pair
Yeah.
of trousers. I think he saw the funny side.
Oh, God.
But you panic, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
A little bit.
Yeah.
That does bring me on to, I'm guessing you label everything up if you know everyone, if they tell you who's who.
Oh, yeah.
Because
every suit comes with an individual suit bag with a name on.
that's really good.
Yeah.
Because every now and then we do get from other brands where they'll open stuff up and they're trying on pants and they go, oh, they're too small. They're not quite right. And they're all like trying to work out who's is who from how well everything fits.
And that is a top tip as well. I'd always say, so when you pick up your 7, 8 suits, 10 suits, whatever it is,
Yeah.
make sure when you take them home, you're not all trying them in one room. So you
Yeah.
don't say to your grooms, and all come round to around, we'll all try them on together.
Yeah.
That's
And
a
they go, oh,
brilliant
look at
tip.
my
That's when
pants,
they
look
get
at my
mixed up.
pants, look at my
Yeah.
jacket.
Right.
One at a time, and put everything back in your bag with your name on. So when you wake up on the wedding day, it's all in the same way that you took it out from the shop.
That's a really good tip.
Yeah.
Really, really
Otherwise,
good.
that can go downhill.
I can see
quickly.
that.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you get a ring on a Monday morning saying, I've got the wrong trousers, but so-and-so's are too big.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Does that happen a lot?
Not too often, really.
Too often. Do you find you get a lot of repeat customers then? Because obviously we came here for a christening suit, and I'm guessing you must have people who get married, and then after they get married, then obviously because they get a great service, they then come back and say, we're christening our son, or we're going to the race or something. Do you find you get a lot of repeat people coming back to you? Do you get to see the same faces?
Naturally, in the wedding industry, you don't get repeat customers that often. It does happen, but you don't get it that often.
Yeah. Well, certainly not getting married again, but they must want to come back to you.
It happened. Yeah.
Do they come back to you for the same things?
It has happened a couple of times. Yeah. But the thing we get a lot of recommendations. So I had a party in on Saturday where there's 6 of them. 4 of them have got married in the last 2 years from us. Yeah. So they all recommend us, and we've got the range when they come in here. They're not all wearing the same suit. Yeah. They've all got totally different looks and totally different ideas. Yeah. And that shows you the range we've got. We can do 4 weddings at the same party, and they've not got anything similar.
But that just goes to show how good the service is.
It does,
because they're willing to come back.
70% of our future weddings come from recommendations.
That's amazing.
So obviously we do the marketing on social media and SEO, but it will never beat if someone comes in, they get great service. Yeah. They go into the pub and go, "Where are you getting your wedding suits?" I'd go there. Yeah. Because I've just had that amazing service.
Because they're being looked after.
Yeah. And they come in here, they don't have to think about a thing.
And it's free, isn't it? Word of mouth. We're not paying for that advertising. Yeah. Not taking any time. It's literally word of mouth and.
But that takes time and quality to build that up for people to recommend you. Yeah. And you don't recommend people who are not good.
No. It's the most effective way, isn't it? Because you wouldn't go to your mate over an okay service.
Yeah. You're putting your name on the line, aren't you? When you say, go there, and how they're going to get treated is important to you.
And people are obviously willing to do that because they know the service they've got. Yeah. And we've got loads and loads of weddings where they've been best man or they've been, bridesmaid, groomsmen, whatever. And they've come in here and they've seen the service and they've thought, and we put him on it as well.
I agree that when I have my suit fitted, that I would always recommend groom.
Good.
Yeah. That must be nice for you though then when obviously say the best man suddenly getting married and the groom previous has come back in. You've obviously get to see them all over again, and then you must see, like you say, more people coming along that way. Do you ever get the little kids then that come in and you're suddenly thinking, right, you're a newbie, we'll have you in a few years' time, I suppose.
Yeah. And then prom suits as well from that.
I forgot about that. Yeah,
it's great to see the couples. We see them 2, 3, 4 times, and then once we've done that, you've formed a relationship. Yeah. So any future times you see them, we get
we know them.
Constant people coming in saying, "Oh, we just need a jacket for this. Do you remember I came for a wedding suit?" We're like, "Of course we remember."
So they can be here as a small usher. And then they can come back for their prom suit.
And then the wedding suit.
And then they can have their wedding suit. And then they can come back and get their christening suit.
Customers forever.
And then every now and then they can go to the races.
Yeah, exactly.
Nice.
That's a lot of suits.
And we'll be here for everything.
So we get a lot of destination weddings. They often come up, places like France and Italy and things along those lines. And we get a lot of those kind of amazing colours that you can see behind you. Where do you find that people end up going to with your suits?
I mean, we're doing more and more abroad weddings. So obviously you've got your France, you've got your Italy. People are venturing further. Yeah. So Barbados, Caribbean, that sort of thing. Yeah.
What would you recommend if you're getting married in that kind of part of the world?
You've got to go lightway, haven't you? You can't go something too heavy, otherwise you will be sweating. Yeah. So we'd always recommend wherever you go for a 3-piece. Yeah. Because when you take your jacket off, you've still got your waistcoat on, so you're still looking smart.
That's good.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people will go, "Oh, I'll be lighter in a 2-piece." Yeah. Whereas that's not the case because you're going to take your jacket off anyway. Yeah.
And
you'll just look a little
bit
scruffy. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And that's not what we'd recommend. So I'd go something lightweight, beige, stick to your light colours, sky blue. Yeah. Don't go anything too dark because it'll attract the sun and it's not what you want when you're in somewhere like that. Yeah. But where are you doing next year, Ray?
So we've got Barcelona, Tuscany, and
South of France, isn't it?
South of France.
Nice.
Yeah. So we should see a complete mix of different colours there. Unfortunately, we haven't had the opportunity to go to the Caribbean to shoot a wedding yet, but I've no doubt you could cater for it. I've no doubt it would look awesome.
Hire or purchase, we can do it for you. Yeah. So it's not a problem.
But just to recap then, so if you're going abroad, how long when do we contact you to get a suit fitted? So it's 12 to 14 months.
Yeah, that's the initial one.
That's fine.
And then the fittings will work the same. So we'll do the 8 weeks before for the hire, 6 months before for any purchase suits. So we want to keep it as simple as possible. Yeah. I know, obviously, you've got numbers thrown around, and that's just one thing. Obviously, you've got your dress, you've got your flowers. Yeah. But you want to keep it as simple as possible. So it's 12 to 14 months, 6 months for a purchase, 8 weeks for hire. Yeah. And that's as simple as it's going to be.
And then if you're hiring a suit for the Caribbean, you've got it for a couple of weeks.
Yeah. You can have it for as long as you're 2-3 weeks, whatever you want to do it for.
Just take the Viagra out your pockets.
Exactly, yeah.
Make sure you take everything out.
So when it comes to appointment times, are you guys quite flexible or?
Yeah, I mean, we'll work. If you've got a time, say, I need it to be this date and this time, we'll try our best to, obviously, we're not going to say 100% we can do it, but we'll try our best to, work around it. And that leads on to the staff thing. So we've got numerous staff in each shop that we can cater for on a Saturday. You've been in here on a Saturday, you know what it's like. It can be frantic. But we've got the staff to deal with that. And that's the thing about caring. And if we didn't care, we just put one staff member and, sort of pick your own suit off and try it on, and that's not how it works.
Serve yourself,
Every single person in the shop will have a member of staff that they're dealing with at that time. So they'll be helping them kind of get their shirt for you. Do you want to try on a shirt? Do you want to try on a tie? And that's the service thing around. We're not just going to go, there's a suit, go try it on. Because that's not how it works.
What surprised me was when we called to book in the podcast and get the time right. Said, is there a day that you're not open? So we can, we can come on that day. No, we're open 7 days a week.
Yeah. Well, Christmas Day you could have come.
Yeah, true.
We were a bit busy that day.
Christmas Day, Boxing Day, New Year's Day.
Yeah,
they're the only days we're closed all year.
But that's brilliant. To be open
now.
7 days a week though. That's especially for guys as well. That's super flexible because people working all sorts of different kind of shifts to be able to come in after work and on any kind of day, come in on the weekend, and especially on Sundays as well. There's a lot of places that are just kind of closed on random days, and you feel, it just takes away that availability, doesn't it? And especially when you're pushing on people, listen, 12, 14 months before, you need to be coming in. The fact that you're open 7 days a week, there's no excuse.
No,
there isn't.
Yeah.
And we get to see those moments where everyone comes together at once.
Yeah.
So you get to see, for the fitting, all the groomsmen, they all want to see each other. And if it's, selected days that they can't do, we're not just going to turn around and say, no, we can't do that case because we're closed. We want everyone to come in at once and them to all.
So you do like an appointment kind of system-ish, don't you, for that kind of stuff?
Yeah, definitely.
Everything needs an appointment.
Yeah.
Ideally.
If you turned up with 6 guys without an appointment and somebody else turned up with 6 guys without an appointment,
you'd have a problem.
Well, everybody'd have a problem.
You can imagine.
Yeah.
So everything we would say, if you're coming in, book an appointment, whether it's for your first fit, whether it's for an initial look, just have a little browse around.
Yeah.
Because we can then plan out the day, plan out how many staff we've got, so every single person that comes in gets the same experience. And that's what we want.
Perfect.
Whether you get the fit in or whatever.
Yeah.
Obviously, anyone that walks in, we're gonna help them as much as we can.
Yeah.
But sometimes the answer is no.
Yeah.
If we've got exactly. The priority is for the appointments.
Yeah.
If we've got 20 people in the shop and there's 2 members of staff, and someone comes in with 11 groomsmen, can I get fitted?
Yeah.
The reality is we can't do it.
But that's not on you. That's on if you want a good experience, and it's like with a restaurant. If you just turn up, there is a possibility you might get a table. But if you want a good experience and you want time with somebody, then you at least need to call up and book a slot.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then when you do that, you'll get access to somebody who will walk you through everything and get you the service that you expect.
Definitely.
I'm sure most brides know that when they go to a bridal shop, they have to book an appointment.
Yes.
So it's only the same thing.
Yes.
We just ask people, give us a call, send us an email, book an appointment, and you'll get that service that you want.
And I'm guessing that because of the time that you guys are open, that there is a lot of flexibility. So say if one of the groomsmen can't come on one of those days, he can come separately.
Of course, yeah.
Yeah.
We don't mind if it's one big group or individually.
Yeah.
As long as there's an appointment.
Yeah.
Or even on a weekday, even if we got a call the day before, please can I get in tomorrow, we'll find our way to do that.
Yeah.
But if you walk in, no appointment, nothing, it does become a little bit difficult.
Yeah.
For us especially, because it's...
That's good though, to know that, like, if I was a groomsman, then if I can't make it with the rest of the lads, because you're working weird shifts, all I've got to do is come in and say, listen, I'm part of John's wedding party. It's on this date. Can I come in and get my
And that's a bugbear. You wouldn't imagine the amount of people that call up and give their own name. And we're looking through paperwork. I can't find you. And I'm panicking because I'm thinking, we can't have lost paperwork. And I'm flicking through and he goes, after about 10 minutes, oh, by the way, I'm part of so-and-so's wedding party. Right, okay. That will find the paperwork.
That's that information.
But that's nice now to know that they can come in, at a separate time.
Not a problem,
they can get fitted,
Yeah.
and then they're sorted. Then
It's easy for us if they come in one at a time because it's much quicker.
Yeah.
But we appreciate people want to come in groups.
Yeah.
They want to come in, they want that experience, they want 5 or 6 lads all coming in and getting measured at the same time. And then,
they want an excuse to go to the pub afterwards.
Yeah, exactly.
It's just there in Chester as well. It's not as close to
you couldn't get any closer, really.
So massive thanks, guys. We'll wrap it up there. I think we've covered a lot. So just to reiterate, then, 12 to 14 months in advance, you need to come
got
in.
it.
Yeah, there you go. I've got it in my head now. I've got it sorted.
What were the other 2?
Come in with the partner.
Come in with the partner
For the first appointment.
appointment.
Book an appointment.
Yep. That's really
Definitely
important.
book an appointment.
Book an appointment.
You get a couple of days before for hire and a couple of days after.
A week before.
Week before.
And 2 days after.
And 2 days after.
Yeah.
And you get longer for a destination wedding.
If you want it, yeah.
Yeah.
Any other key points we need to know?
6 months.
6 months. That's you did that, didn't you?
Yeah.
6 months and then 8 weeks.
Yeah.
Right, got it. I think we got all that now, haven't we?
Yeah.
Yeah. So massive thank you.
Thank you.
Honestly, it's been
Thanks for
great to
having
sit
us.
down with you and go through all this kind of stuff. I think there's some fantastic tips here that couples need to take away and remember those timescales. It's really important. But yeah, so all we can say is thank you very much and bye for now.
Thank you. See you later.